and that's really the big issue. I tell you, when after we left, and I was thinking, we got to keep raising money. Let's start with this. What was the financial goal? Let's deal with that right now. What was the financial goal you need to get this going?
In order to build this museum, we needed $500 million.
All right, $500 million.
$500 million, and that the hope would be that Congress would give half, and that we would have to raise half.
And what happened?
What happened was that we've been able to become, because of support from the White House, support from many members of Congress, the CBC, we've become one of the few nonpartisan things that both sides of the aisle have supported. So over the last 6 or 7 years, we've been able to get Congress to basically pay $250 million to contribute towards the building of the museum.
Right.
So Congress has done their deal.
All right. So their deal, they've delivered on their deal.
Right.
So now you have to raise. You had to raise $250 million. Where do you stand now?
And we are probably at about 195 million raised.
Wow.
And
so you need how much now more to reach a goal?
I'd love to be able to get another 50 to 70 million from the private sector.
50 to 70 million
right.
from the private sector,
right.
And that's us.
That's right. That's us.
That's us.
And we have done well. I mean,
yeah.
to be honest, nobody gets to raise this kind of money, but we still need to close the gap.
Mm-hmm.
And I am completely optimistic because, heck, I'm from a community that makes it happen, so I'm not worried about that.
That's true. And the thing as I'm thinking, there's so many more, and this came up the other day in the discussion. Now that you've broken ground and the building, the frame is starting to grow, it's starting to rise. You told us now people can see it, and here's the way they believe it.
Exactly, because basically I've been doing this now for more than 9 years, right? And for most of those 9 years, my job was to make people believe. And basically, it was believe based on wishes and hopes. Now they can drive past 14th and Constitution. When they look at that Washington Monument, suddenly they look to their right, and there it is. You can see that it's not just a frame, it's almost a building. And I think that what is so exciting to me is that we are probably, 40 or 50% complete of the building, and this will be the first green museum on the mall. That means a lot to me.
Now, when you say the first green museum on the mall, what does that mean?
If you think about what happens to African Americans, in some ways we have been victims of sort of environmental racism. They put highways through our neighborhoods. We end up in areas where there were pollutants. But African Americans have always been about sustainability. We've been farmers, how to make things green. So this museum really says, how do we also limit our carbon footprint? How do we make sure we're taking effective use of water, of cooling, so that we use limited energy? What I think this museum should symbolize is that you can still build great museums that'll service hundreds, if not millions of people, but it also could be a place that can be a model of how we protect and preserve our environment.
Wow. So, and will it be the only Smithsonian museum on the mall that will be green?
Absolutely. I think it's important for African Americans who have always modeled what the future should be. We've modeled what citizenship should be. We modeled what freedom should be. I want this to model what museums should be in the future.